Hi everyone. So previously we have created an alert for any machines whichever are being started, then automatically the owner will be notified on that. So that configuration we have done through Azure portal, but this time we are going to do the same thing. We are going to create an alert using PowerShell. Whenever a machines have been stopped, then automatically the virtual machine, then the notification will be triggered to the owner of that virtual machines. So first, whenever we are trying to develop the things in PowerShell, the first things which we have to look at is how we can manually do that in Portal. So the way we have done is we have went and created an alert. So if we go into alert rule, and first we're going to select a scope, and once the scope has been selected, the next is we have to create conditions, and then we have to create action groups. In action groups, whenever we are creating an action group, we have to specifically mention which resource group name and everything, and then we have to go and configure notification type. And this is actually, as I mentioned in the previous video, this is an ARM role receiver. Okay, so let's do the same things in PowerShell. So when we actually do it in PowerShell, we have to categorize the step by step. The first things which I'm going to touch here is the creating an action group. So let me create an action group. The command for action group, let me go, and if you have an already installed AZ modules in your PowerShell, you can go. Otherwise, let me look for that command, and where I can mention action group. Let me see if I have any commands. And there we have it. New hyphen AZ group. So if I go and get help, I'll get the information about this command, and this is how I'm going to create an account. So the mandatory is to provide an group ID. So let me write a command which is action group ID, and then we'll mention it as AG-PowerShell. So previously, if you see from portal, I have defined action groups AG-portal, and this time I'm using PowerShell, so I'll name it this way. Once this is done, I have to look for any notifications point of view. Do we have any commands for that or not? So even I can actually use command here and related to AZ group. Or if you see, we have a command here, and I'll get to know what is this command here, usage. So this command is meant to create an action group receiver. Nothing but when you create an action group, you have to mention what notification type you wanted. And here it is mentioning. So this is ARM role receiver. So we have to look for ARM role receiver. There it is, hyphen role receiver. So if you see how it works, so we have to select which role it is, either owner role or what it is. So if I go here and use this command and mention the name of this receiver. For previous one, what is the name which I have given? I gave email. The name is ARM role receivers. Okay. So even I'll give this the same thing, but this time I'll say PowerShell. And after the name, what do we have? We have the option to mention this is an ARM role receiver, and let me mention that. And then what is the mandatory field? You have to mention the role ID. Role ID nothing but which whether it's a owner or what it is. How can we get the role ID and everything? We can go here and look for IM roles and look for owner and select this. Go to JSON. There we have the role ID. This is the role ID. Every role will have a unique ID, and these are the common roles IDs. So I wanted to keep this role, and this is the name. So let me mention that create ARM role receiver action group role receiver. And now after this, uh, we have to attach this receiver back to this one. So let's go and what is the command? There is to make any changes to the existing action group. This is the command. So I'm going to attach the so I'll put this in before this attach the receiver to action group. So how can we attach? We have to have a command for that. So here, let me close all this. And here, if we see, we are specifically mentioning the receiver details and everything here. So we have to mention with the group in which resource group you are creating this action group and what is the name of this action group. And then we have to give a short name for this. And then we have to mention the receiver details. Okay, let's go and do this. Okay, so new action group receiver that is being passed as a variable to this. So let's create here receiver equals, and then I'll mention set hyphen az action group and what is all needed. We need a resource group name, and every resource group I'm actually related to alerts. I'm placing it in test hyphen rg, and then we need a name of the action group. The name of the action group is ag-PowerShell. And then what else? We need a short name. So short name is ag pwsh. And the receiver we is dollar receiver. Yeah, whatever the variable input is, that value has been there. It's being passed here, and this should be in a position to work. And now let's see. Then we have to once the action group has been created, what else we have? We'll create an alert rule. How do we create an alert rule? We'll attach this. We have to first create a scope and conditions. So I think scope we can attach it to the condition of whatever the alert has to be created. Only thing is we have to attach the action group. So action group is already been done. So we'll create conditions. So related to conditions, how we can actually look and all that. So let's clear the screen and let's look at get hyphen command, and any command which starts with AZ, and then we'll mention alert condition or condition. So we have a new hyphen AZ log connectivity and AZ app gateway. So only this thing I could see. So I'll use get help. I'll close this one. I'll use this one. Creates a new activity log alert condition in memory, and this is what we wanted. And what type of condition we wanted? We wanted uh, specifically when we are trying to create a condition. So let us create an alert. Suppose we see this alert. Uh, these are the conditions. The category is administrative and the operation name is start. So if we see that events in log activity, let's see under the category administrative, we wanted an operation name compute start action. So let's create two fields here. One is with new hyphen az condition, and I'll mention field as as per this. We see the its category is the condition, field is the condition, and what else we have? Equals. Okay, we have to say equals, and then we have to mention it as administrative, and this should be sufficient. Similarly, to mention a comment, create a condition for alert for which is category. Now similarly, we'll create a condition for operation name. So when we go into this activity log, we have seen that as the operation name is the field name. So we'll copy the same command, and here we'll use operation name, and here we're going to mention the it is a single name. So how did we get to know this? So when you actually create an alert and you will select a scope here, and when you set the condition activity log VM virtual machine start, it is mentioned here the operation, the signal name is this. Let me actually get that. Okay. I've seen somewhere operation name. Yeah. So here I will related to this is a start for virtual machines. Whenever there is a stop, will you get to know what are the activity logs? You go into activity log and check in the last 24 hours, and we see deallocate is nothing but the stop. So if I go here JSON, and here it is the action, it is deallocate action. So I go and mention that here the operation name should be, so whenever a machine is being stopped, Okay, whenever there's an activity of administrative action of emission being stopped, then automatically it has to detect. So as I see, this is the command AZ activity a log alert condition. So let's see related to any command get hyphen command star activity, and we'll have this is the condition we have, which is set. There is no new command other than this attention hyphen online. So this is how we research and we'll develop queries. So if you wanted to know how are we developing normal scripts when something has to be done, this is how we develop. So I'm showing in real time how we actually develop this scripts and everything. So it takes more than what right now I'm showing, because I have done a similar fashion. But the figuring it out what exact commands are there, you can actually figure out from Google search, or you can actually use get command and get hyphen L as more faster ways to do it. So here the command to create an alert, set an alert, set hyphen log. Now what are these one? Uh, so I wanted to go for an activity log alert. So in that I will mention the location. What is location? So if I go with this, the global, yeah. So whenever you're creating an alert, you wanted it to be a global or not, you mention that details here. Okay. So location, you mention global, and then you go back here, and then you look at the name of the alert. What is the name of the alert which we wanted to give? Track VM stop. So this was, there is an already alert which we have, which is track VM start. So this is cat VM stop. And then we have resource group name, and resource group I am actually placing everything in test RG. And then we have scope. The scope is within the subscription, right? So how can we get the scope of the subscription? It's pretty simple. If you see here, this is the scope of the subscription. So you have to copy this. Your subscription ID will be different. So accordingly, make dynamic, go to that. You can actually just copy this hyphen slash subscription slash, and you can go and copy and overview your subscription ID and paste that. And then we have a condition. So in condition, we have multiple conditions, condition 1 and condition 2. So whatever conditions which we have created, we have to pass that. Let me do this. So I'll keep this as category condition equals, and similarly I will mention uh, operation condition, and I will mention equals. I'll copy this, I will paste this, and I'll use this, paste it, and this is the right way. This is the right way. And then we have to mention the action group. We are attaching our action group here itself. So whatever action group which we have created initially, we are going to attach that. So let's get the action group here. So we'll mention it as action group equals, and what is the command for that? It's get hyphen action group. So when we are providing get hyphen action group, get help hyphen online, and here we have to mention the resource group name and the name of it. So let me copy this. So it's in the resource group name SRG, and the action group name is AG Powershell. Yeah, this is action group name and everything, and we will say this is enough. And this one we have to pass it in this command. When we are passing this one more thing which we have to take care of is based on the resource ID and everything. You have to specifically mention this way, otherwise we'll get an alert. So sometimes we'll figure out only through running it and doing it. So when I try to run it and everything, so the way it takes this, I have to mention this and Microsoft Azure, Azure.management.activity log alert group, and then copy this dimension.id, and that is how it is going to consider the attachment of action. So sometimes we have to go and figure out manually in while you're doing and running it. This is how it will be running. So here I have to mention this one comment, and let me go and run each one. So first I'll do AZ logout. If you are logged on using Azure CLI, so you have to first log out from that, and then you have to do a log in AZ account, and let me log in into my account here. The authorization is successful, and now let me run the commands. So I'll go here and I'll first go for action group. Okay, this is done. Now next one is I am creating an ARM role receiver, and the next one is attaching that receiver back to the action group which we have created. This is done. So we should be in a position to see the action group. So let me refresh this or wait for a couple of seconds. It should reflect. There we go. We have AG-Powershell. And now let's create the conditions. Clear the screen. Created an condition with name category which is administrative, and then I'm creating another condition with an operation name, and that is deallocate machine. And now I have to get the action group details. And then let me create an alert. So if you see, it is throwing an error. Mhm. The scope of the subscription and everything, the term. Mhm. Okay, sorry. So when I'm passing that value, I have to mention it as new hyphen object. So I'm creating an object called so and so object, and then I'm creating this object. So now if I run, it will run. There was an issue again. It is saying that I am not able to find an action group. So did I just give the same thing? Action group ID. Overload experiment count one. So might I have to go and delete the first one? Let me see if whether alert has been created or not. There's a new alert rule has been created, and I have to first delete that. Okay, there was no issue with that. Set global test -rg and everything. So new away cannot find an overload for Azure log activity. Me re-see. I'm just comparing my command with this. So what went wrong in the previous one? We'll just validate. Yeah, I didn't give space. That was a mistake. I didn't give them space. I thought I gave the space and everything. So, but it is Microsoft Azure models. Uh, Monitor. It's not management. It is models. Okay, that was the one which was going wrong, I guess. So how can we kind of find of all these things? So when you actually go with that command only, we can figure out from that only. So from this only we can figure out while you're trying it out. Uh, get action group, not get action group, but actually it is set hyphen action group. Mhm. Activity log alert. And here they have mentioned management. Uh, See, sometimes it goes wrong. So we have to go and figure out there from a further documentation point of view. Sometimes there will be bugs in the documentation. So that is why it turned out to be. But after my research and everything, so there it's not management, it is monitor.models activity log action group. So specific object I created and then I passed that ID. So it will be working out. So if I can go back and see the alert rules, and I've seen the two alerts. So now if I go and stop the machine, I should trigger an alert at this point of time. So this, I'm pausing. Let me just give me 2 minutes. I'll pause the recording. So there we go. Uh, First, I started my machine and then I stopped it. So once I stopped it, you have to wait for a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, because the activity log, the ingestion should happen regarding the stop. And after the ingestion happens to the activity log, then automatically we will be able to uh, trigger an alert. And just now, right now, 1 minute back, I see an alert which was triggered with where the VM has been stopped. So whenever the machine has been delocated, then automatically it will be raising an alert to this specific email where I mentioned I was the owner, so I'll be getting an email that a specific operation has been occurred on so and so instance. And where is that instance? So it will mention the instance name and everything here. So this is how we will trigger an alert using PowerShell. So stay tuned. Uh, I'll upload one more video on how we can actually provision or create an alert using Terraform. Thank you.